80448 The public hearing to allow applications for zoning map and zoning text amendments concerning the former Parkway Hospital rezoning.
We will have a 10-minute team presentation. The team is comprised of Eric Palatnik, Tim Henze, and Brian Newman.
Can I have a moment through this one? This is what time.
That's okay. This doesn't seem to be clicking either. Maybe I'm putting it in the wrong spot.
It takes
He
a
has to
while.
pull it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay.
Oh, there it goes. We have it. Came up. Good morning. Thank you for hearing our presentation. My name is Eric Palatnik. I'm an attorney among many people here. It's nice to see everybody. Happy holidays, first of all. Quickly approaching. Next week at this time, we'll all be ready for it. Today, we're ready for housing in Queens, in Forest Hills. We have a really exciting project for you that hopefully you've heard about. It's the old Forest Hills Parkway Hospital. It's been derelict for more than a decade. It's been the subject of an arsonist, the subject of graffiti, and it's been really rotting away. It's tucked into an R1-2A zoning district, which if you look at it in the center of your screen right there, you'll see that there are taller buildings surrounding it. We're asking for permission to rezone the entire site that you see outlined in yellow there, and to make the front portion that has the former hospital on it into an R7X zoning district, and to rezone the rear portion of the property to, note that, I apologize, to an what is it, an R9 in the back? R7A, I messed up the two. An R7A in the front and an R7X in the back. If you grant us this approval, that'll give us the ability to create a fully affordable senior development on the Parkway Hospital building. We'll be adding 2 floors to the 6-story building. It'll be full of 8 stories when it's done. It'll have 135 units. It'll be include 62 studios, 73 one-bedrooms, and it'll be affordable under option 4 of the NIH program. The reason we chose option 4, and I'll touch on that right away, is because we worked very closely with the councilwoman, Karen Kozlowitz, to achieve the development that we're creating here today. Ms. Kozlowitz, or Councilwoman Kozlowitz, was very insistent on the target AMIs that she was trying to achieve. In her district, there are AMIs that support 70 to 80% AMI to 90%, even up to 115%. Here we average at 95% AMI. The other thing that's important to focus upon when we talk about this application is we're not using any government money to build this development at all. The concept behind the development is that the tower portion that we're asking to build, which I'll show you in a second, will subsidize the affordable component. So that is, there will be a 421A component to it, but that is the only government funding. Going through the project a little bit more, so you can familiarize yourself now, you have a background. This gives you some imagery of the Parkway Hospital building that we were looking at from an aerial perspective a few moments ago. As you can see, the building is rather derelict, and going around the site, you can see the proposed zoning districts here. The R7A district is what I mentioned earlier, where I just have the districts, and R7X on the back. The R7X on the back holds for the 14-story building, and what we're going to talk about a little bit more as I go through it, is that portion of the lot fronts up against the service road of the Grand Central Parkway. So the idea again is that even though we are wedged within an R1-2A district, we're really on the edge of it, buffered by the existing hospital that's 6 stories tall that we're adding on to. And the taller building, which is taller than other buildings around it, is not impacting the surrounding community because it is set back from all the lower buildings around it. This gives you the tax maps. I'll click right through this. This you've seen. This gives you some imagery of the building. Right here, you're looking at the senior housing development. The portion up until the setback is the existing 6-story building. The 2 stories are being added up on top of that. That building will have services dedicated to both developments, as will the glass tower. But this building will be very specialized in the sense that it will provide senior care facilities within it. Meaning that there'll be a recreation room. Well, the recreation room, there'll be senior programs that'll be offered within the recreation room geared towards the senior. There's rooms downstairs that have more flexibility. They could have visiting doctors come in, visiting nurses come in. There'll be a shuttle bus that operates from the site from the Parkway Hospital side of the property, where there's a driveway, where residents can go to the subway stop, which is approximately 4 blocks away, Queens Boulevard. We are not very close to the subway stop, so it is not an easy walk to the subway. That is why we're proposing to have shuttle buses. Going through the development a little bit more, this brings you to the 14-story side of the building. What you're looking at the bottom is the ground floor. There is no retail, but what we're showing you there is a driveway to pull off of from the service road, where residents can drop off their guests and visitors come in, and that's also the entrance to the parking garage will be. The building will have a total of 180 parking spaces. It's only required to have 149 parking spaces. So we're slightly overparked for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is PS 196, which is next door to us, which is having extreme problems with parking in the area. And we are dedicated to working with them to alleviate some of that. We're scheduled to meet with them in a few weeks. This takes you through the plans, which is the numbers which you obviously can't read. But here, this in the center gives you an aerial shot of the development with Parkway Hospital, former hospital proposed senior building at the bottom, and at the top is the 14-story tower. But in between them, you see there's a garden area which mimics the rest of Forest Hills, which has this sort of layout between buildings. If you look between the buildings in Forest Hills, you'll see that there's open grassy courtyard areas, interconnections between all the buildings. We're maintaining the spirit of that, and that also provides a beautifully landscaped recreation area for both residents, both buildings to share and utilize. The plans, again, are just black and white here, but giving you an idea of everything, and showing you here where the parking is located at the cellar level. Excuse me, this is the parking level. And that is our presentation. There's not much more that I can tell you. I'd like to open it up for questions, and we have our project team here as well.
Questions? Commissioner Deleuze.
You anticipated my question, so you preempted it by talking about the conversation that you had with the local council member about option 4. I guess, I certainly appreciate, I don't know this community board except by looking at the various research reports from NYU Furman Center. And, I guess I have a number of concerns about a project that has AMI levels that are as high as it is, that are targeted to seniors, given that, there's just a really significant percentage of the local population that will not be eligible for the units. And quite honestly, I would hope that the development team has some concerns about the marketing and the lease up of it, given what you're talking about. So I'm hopeful that you've done significant research specifically about the need for seniors at those AMI levels, and whether or not the project, how long it might take to lease up in order to meet your goals. Obviously you'd be able to lease it up a lot faster if you lowered the AMI levels, given what I'm looking at the NYU Furman Center reports.
Thank you for your comment, and we did anticipate, you're right, we anticipated your comment, but you gave us a head start as you made the comment in your session, so we sort of had a little bit of knowledge of what the question was going to be. So we did try to anticipate that and present as much as we could in my presentation. But to go a little bit deeper, and Tim Hensley is going to speak here in a moment, he did the affordability matrix on the application. What I would like to tell you, though, is it wasn't just taken ad hoc to come up with these affordability levels. This is a very unique project in the sense that I know of no other model in the city where it's a fully privately sponsored senior affordable development. Everything else requires upon some form of state or federal funding in order to do it. So that component, when we approached Karen Koslowitz, when we sat with Karen, we said we wanted to do something on this property. And of course, we didn't even walk in the door with senior on this. We can't do that. I'm not giving us that much altruistic credit. We came in with something that was more aggressive from a capitalistic standpoint. And Karen turned around and said, not in my district are you going to do that. I need seniors. She gave us the demographics that she's trying to achieve, knowing that she can't reach the demographics that we were just speaking about through this type of project. So what the consensus that we came to was this was making the best out of what's available out there to achieve what we can achieve, given that there is no funding source to achieve the levels that you're trying to achieve. Now, having said that, we didn't just go from that level and then say, okay, let's build the building ad hoc. We went out and we did a marketing study, which we worked again with Karen's office for about 8 months, where we went out and the results of it, which I'll just give you an idea of it, is that according to the market data that we studied in this community board, households that are 55 and over, with incomes over 75,000, make up 59% of the elderly population. So the data we got, it goes on to say that incomes over $100,000 make up 43% of the senior population. And then it goes on to state, this is projecting out by the way to 2021, it goes on to state there will be 16,636, I guess it's label number 6 of the motto, senior households 55 and over with incomes over $50,000. So it's, I'm trying to, we anticipated your question, we spent a lot of time trying to give you the information now this hearing. Tim might not even need to speak if you're satisfied, but I'm hoping that shows you that even though we're not plugging every hole on the boat, but we're plugging the holes that we can.
I think you answered the question in that I think the biggest difference between what you just gave and the data that I'm looking at right now is that you're looking at 55 and over versus 65 and over.
62 and over, yes,
yeah,
which
I
is
mean
what this would be, yes.
Right, because, I mean, obviously, you're talking about working age seniors, who are still earning money and can afford these kinds of rents, as opposed to seniors that are then on a fixed income, when their circumstances change. So if that's the target population, I hear you on that
It's
one.
a problem, and
I think it's the definition of what a senior is.
yeah, I'm getting too close.
Other questions? Then we will thank the applicant team,
Thank you. Happy holidays, Jim.
and we will turn to a speaker in opposition, Zamir Khan.
Good morning, Chair Lago and members of the commission. My name is Zamir Khan. I work in the Upper East Side of Manhattan as a doorman. I've been a member of 32BJ. Thank you. Sorry about that. I've been a member of 32BJ for the past 9 years. As you heard previously, we represent over 80,000 members who are all members in the service industry here in New York City. Like many New Yorkers, we're concerned about the rising cost of housing in our neighborhoods and throughout the city. We're here today to ensure that the community uses all of the tools at its disposal so that the people who live and work in Queens can afford to remain and live with dignity. As you know, we believe that in order to create a more equitable New York, developers should commit to providing good building service jobs that pay family-sustaining wages and give workers dignity. Allberg Grand Central LLC, an affiliate of Jasper Venture Group, has expressed an interest in providing prevailing wage building service jobs at this site and have reached out to us here at 32BJ. We're looking forward to what we hope will be a productive conversation about ensuring high standards for workers at this site, and we'll keep you updated on our discussions. Before it closed, Parkway Hospital was an important source of economic opportunity, and both the local community board and Borough President Katz expressed a desire to see the proposed development at the site give workers a path to mobility. We respectfully urge you to recommend that Allberg Grand Central LLC commit to prevailing wage jobs for building service workers as part of your decision on this project. Thank you for having us, and have a happy holiday.
Questions for Mr. Khan? Thank you. And those are the only folks who have signed up to speak on this item, unless there is someone else who would want to be heard. So the public